Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to Let's Play Chaos Head. Remy, who had been fastened to it, slowly raised her head when she noticed my voice. Our eyes met. Her eyes went wide.
どうしてどうして君を助けに
The light in her eyes flickered.
バカだよ
She shook her head sadly.
そんなキスだらけになってそんな無茶して待っててって言ったのになんで
Because I love you. Because I love you, Remy. But I didn't put it into words. I couldn't say something along the lines of, I love you, so I've come to rescue you. Like this, drenched in blood, my arm crushed to a pulp. I looked nothing like a prince on a white horse, and she'd definitely find it nasty and to be nasty and creepy. That would pretty much make me the equivalent of a stalker. If I conveyed my feelings to her one-sidedly, it would only bother her. Yawning. From here on out, she would go on living. From here on out, I would soon die. If someone on the verge of death went off and decided to tell you their feelings, it would just leave you with a bad aftertaste. Which was why I didn't speak of how I felt.
意味にこれを返したくて
My weak right hand, the hand still holding my D-sword, desperately using those fingers, I pulled a handkerchief out from near my heart. A soft vermilion. I couldn't tell if it was the original color or if my blood had soaked into it. It didn't give off a floral scent anymore either. Something Remy had given me. One of the irreplaceable memories I'd received from her.
僕は君をここから助け出してノア2を壊してこのハンカチを返すんだ
It was all I could do. If I saw those things through to completion, I could vanish without regrets. Besides, it didn't seem like I'd be able to accomplish anything else. Yawning. For a while now, I'd been having the hallucination that all my senses had gone numb. Maybe the excessive pain had made my brain start blocking off those sensations, which were being transmitted through to however many of my nerve endings. I couldn't move my body well. Blood kept dripping from my arm. My eyes were going cloudy. It was incredibly cold. If I weren't careful, I'd probably pass out.
君は実に勇敢ですね。
A tall man, noticing energy, emerged from Noah 2's shadow. Expressionless, he faced me and clapped with feigned innocence.
しかし、致命的なことが一つあります。行動原理が感情に根ざしているということです。
Oops, I accidentally skipped.
行動原理が感情に根ざしているということです。それは野蛮人のすることだ。
Yep. Okay, there we go. I didn't really understand what this man was saying. I was frantically working to take in and deal with my pain, and I didn't have the spare room to comprehend other people's words. Remy accepted.
逃げて
小を犠牲にして大の利益を守る。それを悪だと思いますか？ 私はそうは思いません。このままでは人類はいずれ滅び去る。人の欲望によってです。あまりにも醜い心、あまりに利己的な欲望の洪水。人の社会はすでに破綻し、腐り落ちようとしています。誰もが己のことしか考えず、その結果殺し合い、奪い合っています。君もギガロマニアックスとして覚醒したのなら見たはずですよ。人の心の本質を。私は幼い頃に覚醒したため、もう何十年という間、それを見てきた。300人委員会は人類の自滅を阻止するためという大義名分のもと、世界人間牧場計画を推し進めてきました。けれどそれも所詮、彼らのエゴを満たすものでしかない。私が目指すのはそんなものではありません。悟ったのですよ。この腐った世界を再生するためには、社会のシステムを変えるのではなく、世界中すべての人間の心を変える必要があるのだと。そのためのプロジェクトノアです。ノア2があれば世界中すべての人間から負の妄想を消し去り、清廉な心へと漂白できます。争いは消え、世界に永遠の平和を与えることができます。君も誰かに蔑まれることもなくなるでしょう。
His lengthy speech came to an end at last. I desperately braced my legs to keep from collapsing. I'd managed to get a little rest. It had saved me.
あんたの言ってることはもしかしたら正しいかもしれない。
Not that I'd been listening closely. If you were to take the future of humanity into consideration, his way was surely correct, a truly righteous point of view. Notice was the president of a large enterprise, and a man motivated by justice. He devoted the thought to the entire human race. I was a monster, and a virgin, and a creepy otaku, a selfish and blatantly egotistical guy trying only to save the girl I loved. Under normal circumstances, I'd totally played a villain. Justice would defeat the monster and come out victorious.
でも僕はあんたには負けられない。
なぜ否定するのです？
ただの自己満足だ。
残念です。
His gaze fixed on me. Norose seized Rumi's shirt front and dragged her down from the objet d'art. And in front of that sculpture, he extended his right hand to his side. At the same instant, the work of art, which should have been standing vertically, appeared to have installed itself in Norose's hand. It wasn't a piece of artwork or anything of the sort, and it certainly wasn't a cross made for crucifixions. A D-sword. All too massive to be called a sword. Cruel. Changing positions. And cold. A tool for sowing terror. A contaminated gospel. Intricate chaos. Sacrilege for violation. Unadulterated wickedness. Are we reading death metal albums now? Just like the door to hell, it would steal the hearts of those who saw it, tempting them into a cycle of endless suffering. Its shape blended everything negative in the world into one whole, embodying all of it. I gulped down a single breath. Even so, I had made up my mind. I adjusted my grip on my D-sword, bound to my hand at a cord. I took a step toward Noah too. Namely, I began closing the distance between me and Norose. When it came to the range of our weapons, his was overwhelmingly superior.
剣で切り合うような野蛮な行為はあまり得意ではないのですがね。しかし、君からコードサンプルを手に入れる必要があります。そのために無力化しなければ。
The tall Norris swung his even taller D-sword one-handed. It was a blow brimming with the sort of theft that seemed capable of pulverizing anything imaginable. My arms wouldn't respond right away. Pain shot through them, and all I did was tense them. Even then, I forced myself to raise an arm. I stopped his D-sword. If I had a normal sword, there was no doubt that I would have split clean in two. Not to mention that my D-sword was terribly thin. It contrasted too sharply with Noros's. But my D-sword didn't break, and I somehow managed to hold off Noros's first attack. My hand went numb. Since my left hand was all but gone, I had trouble keeping my balance. My posture crumbled. It seemed as if he were about to send me hurling back. I withstood it, and met Norris's second attack. He parried far too fast for me. Don't be led astray by how his sword looks, I warned myself. A power struggle between an excessively slender and delicate sword and an excessively gigantic and ferocious sword. Somehow I succeeded in going up against him, but that was very much just for now. For the fourth time, our swords clashed. Norris's hands began to move differently from before. It appeared as though he had clenched down on the grip of his sword. His D-sword undulated, releasing an eerie sound. It hummed as its structure recombined. The tip of the blade opened like a pair of scissors, thrusting up toward my chest. That transformation, I realized it would be fatal to me. Resistance. I lowered my sword straight in front of me, but it was too late. Woo, lad. The two-pronged points of his sword pierced my chest. A brutal smile played about Norris's mouth. His grip loosened. The colossal scissor closed. My chest, together with my ribs, together with my lungs. The scissors gnawed into them. I retreated a step in desperation. Norris swept his arm further toward the side. Fresh blood danced before my eyes. Pain lanced through my whole body. Although my senses were supposed to have gone numb, it was enough to render me speechless. I clenched my teeth and endured it. My chest rolled up, had turned to shredded meat. If I hadn't backed up, he had gotten into my heart. Huge amounts of blood came spraying out. I started to topple. I caught myself. I couldn't die. Like I'd let myself die after coming so far. I ignored Norose. I frantically advanced toward Noa-2 and the fallen Remy. Lying there, Remy raised her head a little without moving anything else and looked up at me. She was probably weakened, wasn't she? Her body must be insisting on limpness. Weariness, or else my injuries, made my vision fuzzy. I didn't know what kind of face Remy was looking at me with. I couldn't bring myself to meet her gaze. I didn't want her to see me like this, bloodstained and beaten. My tiny little pride. It made me picky about that kind of thing, even though I was going to die anyway. I continued walking toward Noa-2, but it was already within reach of my D-sword. Strangely, Norisa didn't come chasing after. It is a bad day, let me tell you. Alright. It was already within reach of my D-sword. Strangely, Norisa didn't come chasing me from behind. Maybe because he used an illusion on you, and you're about to kill something that isn't Noa-2. Oh wait, hold on. What the fuck? Then all of a sudden, an airy melody started playing through the dome interior. Let me pass. Noa-2, towering before me, the sound resonating from it grew shriller. As it resided there solemnly, I sensed something unknown beginning to move inside it. For a second I quailed, but I gradually lowered my center of gravity. Readying myself, I faced Noa-2's tube-ridden, almost organic-looking surface, and I mowed it down with my D-sword. Suddenly I noticed, at some point, Noah too had disappeared from my field of sight. For some reason, I was standing with my back facing it. I'd definitely been attempting to destroy it. I had no intention of spinning around, but I was facing backwards. Norose, rather than Noah too, appeared in my center of my fake sight, standing in front of me. Turning around, I wielded my D-sword one more time. But though I'd meant to turn around, I hadn't. I had willed myself to turn around, and made the motion of turning around, but the final result was that I hadn't. I grew befuddled.
ノア2の自己防衛機能とでも言うべきものです。
Nora's quiet voice echoed through the dome, mingling with the melody of Let Me Pass.
近づく者の心に干渉し、意志を歪ませる。ノア2には誰も近寄れません。私以外に。
As he finished... Oh, hold on. I wasn't facing the mic. As he finished speaking, Norosy closed in on me with elegant strides. He leisurely raised the enormous D-sword in his hand. I bit my molars together. I didn't have enough blood left. I couldn't think clearly. Despite that, I took my all but senseless right hand. My right hand that was basically crippled by pain. I raised it in desperation and prepared myself for his next blow. My D-sword, which had somehow been welded to my hand with a cord alone, met with an incredible impact and went flying. It tumbled across the floor, moving away from me. I watched it go in astonishment. When I turned my line of sight back to the front, there was Norose sneering. The music shifted, as though it were giving me some kind of warning, as though it urged me towards something.
君の存在を否定してあげましょう。
Norose had already positioned himself for his next attack, and was about to unleash it onto me. All too overwhelmingly, all too destructively, all too viciously. His D-sword. In opposition, I was unarmed, without anything to help myself stave off his blow. I became petrified. Rimi threw herself between me and Norose. Something soft feeling covered my face. Rimi's chest. Rimi was embracing me as though to wrap herself around me, shielding me from Norose. Norose let out a small breath and lowered his sword. Rimi had saved me again, even though I'd come to rescue her. God, how pathetic. In my mortification, I reached for Rimi's blouse, the cap between its buttons. I slipped my hand right inside it. The lingerie she wore was warm and just a little rough to the touch. The pain of my wound gored in my chest, and the pain of my separated left hand, and the pain of my dislocated right shoulder. The anguish of being unable to breathe properly through damaged lungs. Her warmth seemed like it would heal all my suffering. Rimi's lingerie. Rimi's bare skin. I tore open her button-up blouse. I ripped apart the clothing concealing her body, exposing her bra. Wow, you still have a lot of the strength for what you were saying. Also, did you touch both of her tits? I grabbed them, through the fabric, her ample breasts. I pressed my bloody right hand to her bra, to her naked skin, as though rubbing the red blood up against her. I felt her suppleness, her elasticity, so very soft. Wow, you're kind of fucked up, Tucker. Rimi squirmed in an attempt to escape. I hung onto her. I wouldn't let her run away. I buried my face in her breasts, smooth skin that seemed to fit right against me, to suck me in. I went further, using my freed right hand to grope inside her skirt. I sprang away from Rimi with a gasp. I was stunned, realizing what I'd been trying to do. Even after I had moved away from her, Remy hid her chest with her hands and wept heartbrokenly. Despite her protecting me, why had I done such a thing? What the hell was I doing at a time like this? Why was I making Remy cry?
本当は先畑レミを犯したいんでしょ。
My own voice reverberated inside me. My breath caught in alarm. Why was I alarmed? Because he'd hit the nail on the head? Because he'd seen through me? Who had? My voice. The voice in my heart. My true self?
ここで物にしておかないと将軍に寝取られちゃう。あんなしわくちゃ野郎にリミはやられちゃうんだよ。寝取られるなんて嫌じゃねえ。まあもうすでにやられちゃってる可能性もあるけどさ。
My true nature whispered me, "Stop it, please. Don't say that kind of thing. It isn't what I've been thinking." I wanted to cover my ears, but I couldn't do it without my left hand. Remy crying, unable to fix her disheveled clothes. Seeing that face of hers pained me so much. It felt like my heart would be crushed.
片思いでいいとか綺麗事言ってないでさ。犯しちゃえ。ノロセはそれをする時間ぐらい待ってくれるって。どうせ僕はもうすぐ死ぬんだ。恨まれたってへでもないって。やりたいことやって死のうよ。僕のこのかわいそうな境遇ならここでちょっとひどいことやったってしょうがなかったら許されるよ。
I was having a delusion, a bad habit of mine. So it'd be real bad if it didn't work or not. Oh, hold on. So it'd be real bad if I didn't work on not listening to him. I wouldn't be able to avoid getting swept away by the flow. My weak heart was guiding me in the wrong direction, in an easier direction, but I couldn't let myself get swept away now.
それにリミは僕に同情してくれてた。それならむしろやらしてくれるべきだ。犯せよ。死ぬ前に童貞捨てようよ。ダメだ!
I yelled as though to break through my inner weakness, as though to hurl it all away. Thankfully, it made the voice in my heart go away. Before me, Remy had stopped crying as well. She lowered her hands, covering her face. She gave me a cold, brief glance.
つまんない男。
That single sentence filled the inside of my head with tar black emotion. When I launched myself at her. Oh, Jesus. With mind-blowing momentum, a colossal stake burst up through the concrete floor. Its sharp point impaled me in the crotch. Oh. Yeah, that's how I would gurgle as well. Oh, new music. I couldn't swallow what was happening. My legs hovered in the air. I couldn't run away, even if I wanted to. The stake steadily ate its way into my body. Ghastly pain, but not enough to kill me. The stake continued extending, hoisting me up about a meter above the ground. If I stirred, pain shot through my crotch. I became incapable of movement. I wanted help. I sent pleading eyes down at Remy below me. But she walked over to Norose without taking a glance at me, and crouched down there with a thump, as though worn out. Both Norose and Remy watched me up here, me and my shame. They simply watched me, expressionlessness. They didn't attempt to help me.
知っていますか？かつて拷問刑として串刺しは世界中のあちこちで用いられていました。この拷問の特徴は死ぬまで3日ほどかかるということです。自らの体重によって徐々にその杭は体に食い込んでいく。ポイントは 杭の先端はそれほど尖らせないことです。それにより臓器を傷つけることがなくなり、死ぬまでの期間が延びるわけです。
Interesting.
最終的に杭の先端が口や肩から突き破れば処刑は終了。見守っていてあげますよ。3日間。あなたが死ぬまでね。彼女も同じ考えのようですし。
Remy gave a little nod.
もっともその前に胸や腕の傷のせいで失血死に至る方が早いかもしれませんが。
This was delusion, I told myself. A delusionary attack. In reality, I wasn't impaled on anything. I was just standing still in front of Noah too. I was merely seeing an illusion, so I believed. I had to believe it. 3 days, 72 hours, 4,320 minutes. Jesus, who would instantly know that? Like 259,200 seconds. If I could tolerate that much, this illusion would come to an end. It would have to end. It'd be so much easier if I could at least fall asleep or pass out, I thought to myself. But I couldn't. The pain wouldn't let me. And that was precisely what made it torture. I'd go crazy if this continued. Even though, a second ago, I thought about enduring it, now in a shift, I lapsed into despair. When I considered the vast quantity of time left before I died, every emotion other than despair went rushing out of me, just to kill me. I wondered how much time had passed. There was no clock, so I didn't know what time it was. I wanted to see a clock, but if I did, the slowness of my hand's progression would probably break my spirit. The slowness of the hand's progression, sorry. I clenched my teeth together. Sweat trickled down all over me, like a waterfall. It made my throat go parched. Once in a while I moistened it by swallowing cuffed up blood. Inside my body, I felt the stake gradually pushing aside my viscera, burying itself deeper. I definitely felt it. It was a countdown toward death. With this, it would finally surge up to my shredded chest. It would go further, skewering itself up my neck, and it'd break through my mouth. I'm pretty sure you died before that, by the way. I was going out of my mind with pain and fear. At intervals of about 5 minutes apart, I kept fainting and getting woken up by the pain. What I learned from it was that when I fainted, my body relaxed. In other words, the stake began eating into me faster. Naturally, the pain was also increased beyond the point of comparison, and that pain would then rouse me. And my trapped body would writhe in agony. I'd faint again to escape it. It was the worst of all the vicious cycles, and it kept repeating. Even when I opened my eyes, everything was a constant blur. For some reason, it felt like the pain had softened a little too. My sight was dim. I thought maybe it was night, but there were no windows in this dome, so that had nothing to do with it. I figured it was most likely because I'd lost too much blood. It was only a little bit, but blood went on trickling from my chest and my left arm. If more of this blood would drip out, maybe I'd be able to die peacefully of blood loss before I died from being impaled. When that occurred to me, I made an effort to swing around my left arm, crushed from the elbow down, but it wouldn't move. The nerves in it had surely died long ago. Was this really a delusion? When would it end? Was it really going to end? What had made me believe it was delusion in the first place? How did I know it was a delusion? What if it were reality? After enduring it, I'd only die. There'd be no meaning in enduring it. But I was going to endure it anyway. How stupid. Moronic. I was an idiot. Die. Not die. Die. I had to die right away. I had enough of this pain. I had enough of this suffering. Bite your tongue off. Do it, and things will become easier for you right off the bat. Let me go already. This is delusion, isn't it?
死ぬ死ぬ死ぬ死ぬ死ぬ死ぬ痛い死ぬ死ぬ死ぬ死ぬ死ぬ死ぬ死ぬ
The amount of blood hemorrhaging from my chest increased. I was losing the ability to breathe. No matter how much I tried to suck in oxygen, my throat just made this dumbass sound, kind of like a faint whistling. When I looked down, I could see the stake peeking through the wound in my chest. I violently vomited blood. My mouth flapped open like a goldfish all the while, as I sought oxygen. I was relieved at the prospect of dying soon.
そろそろですね。
Alright, well, guys, that's it for this episode. I hope to see you on the next one. I hope you enjoyed, and until then, have a good one.